Hi everyone. How's it going?
Good.
I see some familiar faces. Who haven't I seen before?
Have or
Have
haven't?
not.
Oh.
I saw you last time.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so my name is Kim. I'm from the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. We're here to kick off ROUNDUP campaign, as you guys see on your.
I like that picture.
I know, it's a good picture, right? We're here. Oh, this one doesn't have it. We're here to kick off ROUNDUP this year. This is separate from Icons and National Pancake Day, right? But so most of you have heard my spiel before, but for those who are new, I wanted to share a little bit more about the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, so you know who you're fundraising for. You're just not doing it blindly, right? So the campaign starts tomorrow. That's tomorrow, right? Yeah, today's Sunday.
Yeah.
Tomorrow officially, Monday, September 17th, and it goes through Sunday, October 28th. By the way, if you listen to my presentation, there might be some prizes at the end. So just fair warning. So Monday, September 17th through Sunday, October 28th. It's a 6-week campaign. Hopefully we reach our regional goal by that date shortly before Halloween. But if we don't for some reason, if we're a little bit short, we'll extend it for one more week and go through November 3rd. Okay? So you guys have probably seen our logo before at the top, Fighting Blood Cancers, LLS. We actually, can you everyone see this, or is this in the way?
No, it's fine.
Okay. We actually underwent some rebranding a few months ago, and our new tagline is now "Beating Cancer is in Our Blood." So I think it's really important to know that the work that you do, the money that you raise, doesn't just help blood cancer patients, it helps many other cancer patients as well. If you think about it, it's a lot easier to draw and test blood and to research it than it is to do so for a solid tumor somewhere in your body, right? That's harder to get to. So that's why a lot of our work is pioneering, since we have such easy access to blood. That's why we're able to use our treatments for many other types of cancers as well. So this next slide I'm going to show you is actually a commercial that is set to air sometime in the near future. Fair warning, it's pretty intense. It's not your typical feel-good nonprofit commercial, but I think it does say a lot, and it highlights our new branding. So I'll let you look at it now.
Cancer may be tough, but we are tougher. We are the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. You may not have heard of us, but our game-changing research has led to the belief that the cures for cancer are in our blood. We are the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Beating cancer is in our blood.
So what do you think? It's a little different, right?
I think I've seen it already.
You have?
Yeah, I think.
Oh, that's pretty awesome, because I haven't seen it yet. But yeah, so this is our new campaign, and you can see kind of from the snapshots a glimpse of what it's like to be a cancer patient. You can also see that cancer spares no ethnicity, no age, no demographic, so it really can happen to anybody. And I think that's why a lot of our work is pioneering. I think this is a good push to get people to know Leukemia and Lymphoma Society more often than they do. Right? So LLS, or the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, is the world's largest health organization dedicated to fighting blood cancers. Our mission's 2 parts. The first part of our mission is to cure all types of blood cancers. So if you have leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma, and Hodgkin's disease. And the second part of our mission is to improve the quality of life for our patients and their families. So we were founded in 1949, at a time when back then, if you were diagnosed with a blood cancer, statistically you had a 0% chance of survival. It was 100% fatal back in the 50s. Fast forward to today, 1.2 million Americans are either in treatment for or in remission from a blood cancer here in America. Now, does anybody want to guess as to how often someone is diagnosed with a blood cancer in America? Once every how many minutes?
Probably once every 3 minutes.
That is exactly right. Once every 3 minutes.
That's crazy.
That is crazy, right? But since you guessed correctly, you get a prize. I have wristbands, pens, a donate button, an iWallet where it sticks to your phone. You can put your credit cards, a cup, a stress ball, a notepad, and a book.
I need a stress ball.
I knew you was gonna get that.
I need this thing.
Okay, once every 3 minutes, someone is diagnosed with a blood cancer. Another chance for a prize. Does anyone want to guess as to how often someone passes away, unfortunately, from a diagnosis?
Probably the same.
Well, you can't guess anymore.
Probably every 6 minutes.
5, 6, 3, 2. Okay, who said 6? You're the closest. It's once every 10 minutes someone passes away, which is good because the number is higher than what you guessed. What prize would you like?
Pass the wallet. Thank you.
All right. So, but in all seriousness, in a 30-minute period, right? 10 people will have been diagnosed and 3 people will have passed away somewhere in America. That's pretty crazy still today. Even with all the advances that we've made, still 1/3 of our patients do not survive past 5 years after being diagnosed. But if you look on the flip side, 2/3 of our patients do survive, and that's an awesome statistic compared to 0% chance back in the 50s, right? So when you guys raise money at the register or at the table, where does it go? Basically goes into one of 3 areas, either research, advocacy, or patient services. Advocacy in the middle refers to when we lobby on Capitol Hill and at state legislature levels for policy change. With research, I kind of mentioned this a little bit already, but a lot of the work that we do doesn't just help blood cancer patients, right? So this graph is a representation of all the drugs on the market today that are used to treat cancer. The red ones you can see were initially approved for blood cancers. So that means that LLS is responsible for 40% of these that now assist other cancer types: breast, prostate, colon, pancreatic, and many others as well. Okay. And then lastly, patient services. We offer a number of different services for our patients, from LLS Community, which is like a Facebook type interface for them to communicate, to the Patty Kaufman First Connection program that partners up a newly diagnosed patient with a volunteer survivor to serve as a peer one-on-one mentor to lead them through their cancer journey. But the one I want to highlight on this slide is one of our financial programs called Copay Assistance. So imagine, God forbid, that you or someone you know was diagnosed with blood cancer today, right? Every time you have to go see the doctor or an oncologist, you probably have to pay a copay, even if you have decent insurance. It might range from $10 to $100 based on your level of coverage. And if you think about it, you don't just go see the doctor once for cancer, right? Probably dozens of times over maybe even possibly multiple years. So last year in Virginia, we broke a record, and we awarded $1.5 million to 303 families who applied for copay assistance, right? So 2 things to take away from this. One, if you do the math, 1.5 million divided by 303, it's about $5,000 that each family got. Imagine it, $5,000 is what it costs just for the copay fees. Think about how much it costs for medication, for getting a babysitter if you have kids, or the time off that you lose from work, right? Cancer's really expensive. And the other thing is, families who go through cancer are 260% more likely to file for bankruptcy than families who are not. So all in all, cancer is really expensive, and a lot of times every dollar that you raise, sometimes the dollars that you raise go directly into pockets of people who need it, like through this program. So we have an awesome partnership with you guys in IHOP. For those who are not familiar, our partnership actually started with this franchise group, Mr. Doc Wilhelm. So back in 2004, Doc's granddaughter Savannah was diagnosed with a blood cancer as a child. So nationally, IHOP's charitable partner is actually Children's Miracle Network, but because Doc owned a bunch of stores and was the owner, he had the ability to switch his fundraising from Children's Miracle Network to Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. And so what started as a handful of his stores back in 2004 has now grown to about 130 in the Mid-Atlantic area, from Hampton Roads all the way up to Delaware. So you guys are a huge part of that and part of the original group that fundraised for us, and really appreciate all your hard work, especially with the ROUNDUP campaign. Okay, so 2 years ago, back in 2016, this store for ROUNDUP, right, we're not talking about Icons or Pancake Day, you guys brought in $190 for ROUNDUP over 6 weeks. Does anybody know how much you brought in last year?
It didn't say it on the food pass flag.
Okay, what? Did I give you a plaque for a ROUNDUP?
Well, 2016 it says on there. I'm pretty sure that's not right.
Okay. Well, if this is what you raised in 2016, 2 years ago, look at what you raised last year. That's incredible. You guys were the #1 store out of all the Wilhelm Group stores, which is crazy because this area is not like nearly as populated as Fredericksburg or Stafford, right?
Yeah, no.
So,
I helped with the host.
how did you guys do it?
The host going up to the tables.
That's
too.
just roundup. That's
Oh.
not.
That's not even icons. Well, I don't know how you did it, but just do it again this year, right? Because you guys did.
What do you mean by roundup? What do you
You
mean?
got a
Yeah,
sweet
let's go.
Would you like to round up your total?
Round up.
You remember doing that too last year?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I don't know.
No, I just always asked if they wanted to donate to.
To LLS.
Yeah.
So wait, when you say round up your total, what do you mean by that?
Just
Well, I
the
don't- I'll-
Your
change.
dollar, it's
Do it,
17.59, bring it up to 18. Like, make it even.
Make it
Make it even.
Okay, that's what I thought. So like
Yeah.
the change of.
Good
Well, however you
grief.
did it, do it again because you did an amazing job. So that's where you fell in the Wilhelm stores, right? You're number 1 out of 6. So I support 16 stores in the Virginia area. Blue is Fredericksburg or northwestern Virginia. Green is Richmond, and pink is Hampton Roads. And you guys were number 1 out of the 16 in Virginia.
Wow.
Out of all of the Wilhelm Group stores,
two.
number 2 out of Doc's 15 stores. This is just roundup. And then out of 74 stores that participate over multiple states, you guys were number 4. So keep up the great work.
All the money here.
Yeah, but don't like ride a high and just think that you can do it again easily. You know, hopefully put in the work to get us to that number again. Okay, have you guys set up a goal for this year?
Not yet.
Can we set one now?
What was our goal last year?
I don't know what your goal last year was, but your
But we
total
pulled
was
3 almost.
your total was almost
I think
3.
we can do 4 or 5.
I don't know, that's pretty lofty.
Hey,
I mean, I like high goals, but I also want something that's
Okay, let's
achievable
go
for you.
for 35.
35. You guys think you can hit 35 this year?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the highest goal that anybody has set, and this is like the 7th or 8th presentation I've done so far. So let's do it. Let's put pen and paper and put $3,500 on it.
let's do it.
Okay, that's awesome. $3,500 is your goal for this year,
Oh, wait, for the round
just for
I
roundup.
go door to door.
Just for roundup. Okay, now can I get a volunteer? Yay! Oh no, somebody actually volunteered this time. The other stores, it's like pulling teeth. All right. So, what's your store goal now?
35.
Put $3,500 in there. Divided by how many weeks are we doing this?
6.
6.
So what's that divided by 6?
6. So that means we have to make 583.3 eating. So just do 584.
$584 the store needs to do per week over 6 weeks. Okay, how many servers do you have here?
Got it. How many servers do we have here? Right now?
yeah,
I mean, this is basically our staff for the whole week.
Okay, well how many?
Well, we got 2 missing.
Like 13.
So it's 2, 4, 6,
12 or 13?
like 8. Like
All together.
Altogether 8?
12.
13.
12.
Alright, let's go halfway to say 10.
Alright, that means each server has to pull in $59.
Alright, $59 a week per server. How many shifts do you guys work a week on average?
5,
6.
So
5,
5.
6.
Alright, let's go conservative and say 5.
Alright.
So that's 5.
That's, we have to pull about $12 per shift.
$12 a shift. Okay? How many hours do you work in a shift?
6 or 8.
Some of us work
that varies.
days.
It
It could be like 4 hours. Sometimes it could only be 3, and then sometimes it could be 6 or 7
Yeah,
hours.
I'd love to work.
I've been working like 9 hours, 10 hours.
What if we said like
Yeah, but
5?
during the week, y'all have to
Regular
something.
shifts are about 6 hours. Yeah.
That is-
6?
6 or 7.
Okay, so that's what's that divided by 6?
That is $2 an hour.
So according to our math, if you guys do $2 an hour over the course of 6 weeks, you'll hit your goal of $3,500.
$2.
$2 an hour. Okay, so think about it. If you have 4 tables, each table is rounding up 50 cents. You ever have more than 4 tables at a time within an hour?
Yes.
Okay, so that can be a little bit more achievable, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what if we were a little ambitious and went for $3 an hour? You think that's still attainable?
I think so.
You're like, that's attainable.
Don't push it, man.
I want to push it.
We want, you know.
I want you guys to be number 1
expectations.
again. Right.
Someone meet them. You have-
It's all in here. It is all in here.
What if we go for What if we go for 250?
So that'd be like 4,000 for the golden if,
What really
if
helps
we
is
raise
having
it
those
a dollar.
things on the back of our server.
Well, that's
I'll
good.
get to
We
that.
want to beat the goal. But
That's what I'm saying.
So what do you want to say? $2 is according to the calculations. Do you want to go any higher than that as a goal, stretch goal?
250.
We can do 250.
250. All right, 250 is how much we want to shoot for each hour for 6 weeks. Okay. Now, in order for this math to work, everybody has to pitch in, right? And I'm sure there's a few people who aren't here listening to us right now. So please share the message and encourage them, and share everything else I'm going to share with them for the presentation today. Okay. All right, let's move on. Thank you for doing the math. All right, regionally, we want to raise $65,000. Okay, last year we finished at about 60, which is why we have like an extra week of cushion this year in case we don't meet there. But I think we can definitely do 65, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Countdowns. Okay, so a few tips for those who haven't done this before. How do you ask your customers? I would phrase the conversation something to the effect of, would you be interested in rounding up your total for children with cancer? So I highlighted children because it's not a lie. We do support a lot of adolescent kids. And so a lot of times when you mention kids, you pull at folks' heartstrings. They might be more willing to make a contribution. Did you notice, though, in this sentence, in this phrasing, how I did not say, would you like to round up to the next dollar? Okay, so for example, let's say the customer's total is $13.64, right? If you ask them to round up to the next dollar, you might get 36 cents. Sorry, I think that math's right? They might get 36 cents. But what if I said, would you be interested in rounding up your total for children with cancer? You might say yes or no. Yes? Okay. Awesome. How much would you like to round up? And then that puts the ball in their court. So they might go up to the next dollar, but they might be feeling generous and go to 15. So it might be $1.36. Or if like they're super, super generous, it might go even higher than that. So don't limit yourself and put a cap on it by saying the next dollar. Leave it open-ended and let them decide how generous they want to be that day. Okay, that's a huge tip. Some other things is I probably would not use the abbreviation LLS or Light the Night because it's familiar to us, but unless they're a regular customer, they won't know what LLS stands for, and that's just another conversation you'll find yourself having.
Can we wear our shirts, our t-shirts? Are we getting new ones, or can we wear
Is
the ones
there
from last year?
t-shirts this year?
I'm going to try to get Hassan some more.
Okay.
There's not any
But
on
are
order
they the
currently.
same ones?
Are they the same ones that don't?
No.
No.
No, they're different. Yeah.
I'd rather wear the t-shirts than these red.
I would avoid actually using the word donate. So a lot of times when people ask you to donate, it might be you, but it might be somebody else, like a wall kind of gets built up. Because think about it, you're asking people to donate every which way. Like you go up to all kinds of different stores. Right now we have Burlington, IHOP, and Walgreens fundraising for us. So just for us, that's 3 different stores. Think about all the different charities and things out there, even online. So
Me?
Yeah.
I would maybe recommend instead changing the phrasing. Maybe say, would you like to help out or would you like to give a hand? You'd be surprised at how changing the verbiage just a little bit might bring in more contributions. Okay? All right. I have these handouts. If I can get your hat, I'll pass them out. So, the front of this is like an infographic sheet. So I'm sure you have customers saying, well, what is LLS or what do they do? So this kind of gives them a visual representation of it. And on the back side, you may even have more customers asking, well, how much money goes to the mission? Like how much of my donation actually stays with it? And you can see, according to the graph on the back, that almost 78 cents of every dollar stays towards our mission. So I folded this in thirds. Hopefully it should kind of fit somewhat in your book. Does it fit in your book? Yeah, it fits in your book. There you go, perfect. So you can keep that handy for the next six weeks. And then I want to also introduce you to our honored hero for this campaign. This is Ariana. She lives in Richmond. She's 4 years old, and she is a lymphoma patient. We can't quite call her a survivor yet, because she's still undergoing treatment. But like you guys did for last time, yeah. like you guys did for last time, I would recommend taping this to the back of your server books. Can I borrow yours? Right. So for people who haven't done this before, when you tape it back here and you're taking someone's order, they might be like, "Oh, who's that kid? Or who's that on your book? Is that your child?" And you can be like, "No, actually, that's Ariana. She's our hero for this campaign we're doing for Leukemia and Lymphoma Society." So they actually started the conversation. You didn't have to do it. So that's an easy way in. And then if they don't ask you who this is, you can when you make the ask, you can point to Ariana, kind of give a face to the campaign, right? So I would recommend you guys doing that. Okay, September is actually Blood Cancer Awareness Month. So for the first few weeks, if you want to use this into your spiel, well, feel free to do that. Would you be interested in helping out for Blood Cancer Awareness Month and rounding up your total? Just another option. Now, if you don't remember anything I say throughout this entire presentation, you can just remember one thing, and that's that the number one tip is to ask every single customer, right? The number one reason people give is simply because they are asked, especially with a campaign like this.
That's me. As long as I'm asked, I will definitely go.
Same. Especially since I preach this, people ask me. But you, remember with icons, you got paper all over the walls, so when someone walks in, they obviously know something's going on, right? Well, it's not so with this campaign. The only thing that's saying that we're doing a program right now are the syrup caddies and maybe Ariana on the back of your server books. So that's why we asked for you guys to be the voice for us for the next 6 weeks. Okay? Just remember that the worst a customer can say is no, but they won't have an opportunity to say yes unless you ask them. Okay? Alright, I'm going to pause my presentation real quick and show you a picture that I forgot to put in here. But I have a story to tell you that happened yesterday. Fredericksburg. So yesterday I was doing a presentation in Fredericksburg. Roundup store. And I was setting up in the corner of their store. And there was a family who was dining right next to me as I was setting up, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, I have a presentation. I'm here from the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. IHOP is actually a supporter of ours, and so I was going to tell the staff a little bit more about us." So, turns out, and this is her, I took a picture with her afterwards. So I took this like 5 minutes before I started their presentation yesterday. She's a 18-year lymphoma survivor. What are the chances of me setting up at a booth in their restaurant and the lady next to where I was setting up being a lymphoma survivor, right? So it just goes to show you that it affects more people out there than you would think. It doesn't have to be just even a blood cancer. My mom is an 18-year or 17-year breast cancer survivor, and we lost my grandmother to stage 4 brain cancer about 7 years ago. So I'm sure somewhere within your networks you have some kind of cancer connection. I will tell you 2 more stories that were initially in the script, but I think it's really important for you to know. One is, you see Ariana, right? She's not our hero. She's from Richmond. So all last week I did the Richmond IHOP presentations. I did 6 of them, right? I got an email from the general manager of one of the stores this morning that said that she had a really moving story to tell me. So, as what's the word? Combo? What's a combo? Is that like a person who works multiple places? Yeah. Okay. So one of her combos walked in, wasn't at my presentation, but walked in shortly afterwards because they started early on Saturday, and he saw Ariana on all the servers' books, and he just burst out into tears.
He knows her?
It's his daughter. So I think his mom, so I used to work with her mom at Whole Foods as a cashier. And I don't think they're together currently. Oh, okay. So I've never known the dad. But how crazy is that? That an employee of IHOP is the father of the girl who's the face of the campaign for Whole Foods.
Well, they're winning.
Wow. Goosebumps.
They're gonna win.
So that was crazy. And then the last story I want to tell you, this all happened within 24 hours, right? That story, and then I did a presentation at, I think it was Stafford yesterday. I won't mention his name because he asked to remain anonymous, but after I did my presentation, one of the servers came up to me and was like, "Thank you so much for what you're doing. It really means a lot to me." And so he had tables while I was doing the presentation, So every now and then I saw him like peek his head in through they had like little curtains, I think. And I was just thinking that he was just like kind of like looking on, but it turns out that he had myeloma like 5 years ago. And he was telling me how it devastated him financially, how he lost his insurance, how he was doing really well, had stocks and bonds and things like that. Now he has like $50,000 in medical debt. And so it just goes to show you that, I mean, it's a small world and even more connected with the IHOP family. You've got the server, you've got the cook, or the combo, who's the father, and then the lady who was just eating there. So I'm not trying to make you guys feel sad, but just make you know that when we come up with a number, right? What was it? $3,500. It's not like a number that's gonna go on a spreadsheet. I mean, it is, but that's not why we're doing it, right? We're doing it because of folks like all the people I just told you. Like, it makes a huge difference. Okay, sorry, I went off on a tangent, but I thought it was important to share that with you.
I was like,
You were right. I spoiled the surprise. Okay. All right. So other than all the stories that I just told you, we would love to offer you some incentives this year. You guys have a great shot at winning one of these based on your performance from last year. So the number 3 store that raises the most money out of the 74 stores, remember you guys came in like 4th, right? Yeah. So if you raise just a little bit more. 3rd place, we'll get $500 in American Express gift cards given in $50 increments. 2nd place, we'll get $750. And 1st place, we'll get $1,000. That'll be sent to the managers. They can throw you a giant party. They can give out the gift cards to individual servers based on performance. It's up to the manager's discretion. Okay. New.
I was about to say, okay, I'm about to get done there. Okay.
It's out of my control after I put it in the mailbox. Okay. New this year, we did this for icons, but we haven't done this for Roundup yet. We're gonna have a weekly raffle. So if you, as individuals, raise $100 or more in a week, you get entered into a weekly raffle for a $50 American Express gift card. So we'll be giving out one a week. So we'll be giving out 6 of these. And I think the pool for these is a lot smaller from icons because it's a lot harder to get $100. But based on your track record, it seems like it's pretty easy for you guys. So that's another incentive for you guys here. Now, does anyone have any questions for me? Okay. I want to switch gears and talk about Light the Night. You guys have heard of Light the Night, right? No? So Light the Night, for those who are not familiar, is our signature event that's in the charity run walk category. But what makes it unique is it starts at nighttime. So from 5 to 7 o'clock, it's a festival where you've got things like selfie stations, food trucks, all that jazz. And then at 7 o'clock, we have an opening ceremony that's a lot like the Olympic opening ceremony. We invite all those survivors to come to the center of the field. So every participant who comes gets a lantern. A white lantern like this is for a survivor. Red ones are for supporters, and gold ones are for those walking in memory of a loved one that they've lost. So we invite the survivors to the center, we light their white lanterns, and then we ask all the red and gold lantern holders around them to light their lanterns as a symbol of all the support that the survivors have around them in the community. In Fredericksburg, about 500 folks come out, and I know it's a little bit of a trek from here, but I really recommend you guys maybe taking that weekend off if you want, and then going down there, or if you know some people who live down there. It's well worth it. Not only, well, here, there's a few perks that you guys get if you happen to come. So since you guys are one of our top fundraisers, you automatically get a t-shirt. Usually our fundraisers, this was like from 2 years ago, usually our fundraisers have to raise $100 to get the t-shirt, but you guys automatically get it. And just did the proof, IHOP's logo is the first one on the local sponsor section. And then you also get a VIP food. So this year, like Dixie Barbecue, which is a chain down there, is catering barbecue food. So it's a really good time. And other than the swag that you get, you should come because you can see more patients and survivors who you're supporting, right? And I think that'll dive you up through the icon season. Okay. So this was another picture that I took of you guys. It was a small crowd that one time I came out. I think I just dropped by with some donuts and stuff.
Oh, I missed that one. Where was I at?
So it's time for another picture. Can I get a photo?
Oh my god.
Yes.
I'm so good. We're
Wait a
gonna
minute,
go
that's
there.
freeze recording.
That's why you left in there.
Okay.
So my stuff was like,
So I got a couple signs
Okay.
we hold.
okay.
You're gonna gather around the circle
Oh, yeah,
table.
where's the sign?
Around the table? Oh, well then y'all can move all your crap. Because then it's gonna look all
There you go and get all that in there.
cool. We're all
We're
sitting
probably
around
gonna
the
end up
table.
standing up, aren't we?
And watch this
Look,
be
you
the
need
way.
the little one, Melissa. You're
I was
little.
just holding. Okay, you hold the gold one.
I'm gonna hit the hard one.
Oh, it is.
Ah,
Oh yeah, that's perfect.
Hey,
Let
you're
me get
blocking,
over
I'm sorry, you're blocking my face.
Oh well, you know, buddy, so it don't matter.
Are we sitting or standing?
Whatever you want to do.
I got. Huh?
Let's sit. Okay, no, because if we stand, this will look weird. Let's see what we hold on for like 1 minute.
Sure. Okay. So, wow. Everybody stand up for a second.
Sure, he wants to see if it looks better.
No.
I'm not drunk.
Well, I know the answer to this question, but sit down if you've never seen me do a presentation before.
Here you go.
Okay, never mind. Hassan's here, so we're gonna do the, and then I'm gonna come back to this exercise.
You
Okay,
just watched
just a
it.
picture, and then what was it recording?
Yeah, I watched it. I meant before this, before today.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where's Courtney? Is she the one being picture?
She's at the register.
She's coming back.
Okay, we'll wait for her. I think you should be upset if we skipped her.
I'm gonna starve to death.
For real.
Don't do that.
Good.
Put it in the tube. That's why everybody has their hand.
I did, but it's been in there for like an hour, so I'm probably rock hard. It's okay.
Why did you bring it over here?
Because I didn't want to be rude.
Here. Here you go.
Hold on.
There's one more that. Here, you guys.
Jen. Jen.
Jen, get them in.
Yeah, someone will warn.
Here you go. This is the way it is, and it goes in the.
You guys ready?
Let me have some
One, two, 1, 2, 3, and then everybody give me a thumbs up. And then wave your hand in the air. Okay, excellent. Now, before you sit down, if you have to go to other places, go ahead and go. Sit down only if you've never seen my presentation before today. Okay, so I'm going to count everybody who's remaining standing. One, 2,
You
3.
are here last
1, 2, 3. 1, 2. You want to play? You want to play?
I have to do
Okay,
that.
so 1, 2. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And then 3, 2. Alright. 1's over here. 2's in the middle. 3's right here.
Alright.
Oh man, I'm handicapped. I got jokes still.
Is the other
I'm
one?
gonna show.
Honey, you're my handicap.
Are you
There we
alone?
go.
I don't know.
You too, right? So why are you
What happened to the
sitting
other
in the
bell?
one section?
Where's the other one?
Right here.
Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah.
I put it on
So
side.
this is 3.
Yes.
Okay.
It really is. Jenna Lisa,
Me?
I'm handicapped.
Just get that.
So we're gonna play Jeopardy. So most of you guys have already heard my spiel
No, I
before.
won't.
So I thought I would do something a little bit different to make it a little bit more interesting and help you remember some of the stuff that we went over today. You guys actually seem enthusiastic to play it. You usually have to say that. Well, I've done this like 7 times before, and everybody gets super intense by the end. Now, unfortunately, I had to leave in like 8 minutes to go to Culpeper, so we're gonna do this really quick. But okay, so the categories are mission overview. Campaign overview, mission, statistics, goals, tips, and incentives. Okay? So, I'm going to tell you a number. Give me number 1 through 10.
8.
Are you playing? Are you?
No, you're on the
Oh,
wrong
you're that
team.
team? Okay.
9.
9 was the number, so you guys are going first. You have control of the board. So let's say,
No?
Why have you got
what? Why did everyone guess? Okay.
I'm asleep.
We're gonna do how many people? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're doing 7 questions. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, hell, we gonna lose.
That's why I said we
Okay,
handicap
I give up.
over here.
Somebody else.
All right. We'll do 6 questions. Okay. That should hopefully rotate most of everybody. All right. So, which category and how much would you like? Oh wait. First, I'm sorry. A few things.
Yeah.
What color would you want to be? What color?
Pink.
Pink. What color?
Red.
Red and
Blue.
blue. Okay. You have to ding in and then have me acknowledge you before you answer. You do not have to answer in the form of a question. You will get negative points if you answer incorrectly. Okay. And at the end, we will play Final Jeopardy, and the winning team will get a prize. Okay. So, what category? Oh, and only the person who's in front of the buzzer can answer. No collaboration until Final Jeopardy.
Until Final Jeopardy?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Alright, girl, sit down halfway on the seat.
Oh my God! Just give me a category. Give me a category in the mouth.
6 minutes.
I have to go in like 6 minutes.
500 on goal.
All right, 500 goals.
Oh, Jesus.
How much did your store raise 2 years ago? In 2016? 5, 4, 3,
Oh, I can answer?
1. No, you can't answer. Okay. Nobody got it, so, but nobody lost points. The answer was like I think it was like 190. Like 2 years ago. Okay. Just pick again.
I thought you were
I
asking
couldn't.
all
Only
the-
you
this
could.
is just for the life tonight, right?
Just for a roundup. Yeah.
Only you could answer that, okay? Now?
Okay.
Yeah, pick one.
Pick one.
Let's do the campaign overview for 500.
For 500.
Let's see what this is.
The campaign might get extended through the state.
Why you gotta ding it?
No, it's a bell. It's Thursday.
What is your answer?
November 3rd.
That is correct. What color were you? Pink?
Pink.
Glad
Okay,
I got the
switch.
stubborn one.
Switch people, or just give the bell to somebody else. November 3rd is when it might get extended through. All
Yeah, you know.
right.
You want to go
You got a new
next?
person now.
You got this?
All right. You guys have control of the board. What category and what amount?
Let's do missions for 500.
Mission 500. LLS's new slogan.
Send our blood to fight cancer.
Close enough. Beating blood is in our. Beating cancer is in our blood.
She's in it too.
She's in it to win it.
I'm a competitive person, okay?
Switch. And
Joseph.
then pick a category. We're just gonna do all the 500s.
Statistics. 500.
Okay.
Oh Lord, you can't even say the word.
The fraction of our patients who do not survive. That's right. Yes.
It's basically 1/3.
That is correct. 1/3 of our patients do not survive. That's right. What color were you?
I am
Red?
red.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Switch, and then your team gets to pick again. Do you want tips or incentives for 500?
And the last one.
Incentives? All right. I'm actually gonna do 300 because it's a better question. The number 1 store gets this. Are you playing or is he playing?
He didn't get
That
it
one's
last
fair.
time.
Okay. Yes.
He's like, dang.
$1,000 in American Express gift card.
That is
To
correct.
the manager.
Anyways, I wasn't sure if you were talking about the one that's the roundup prize or if
Someone's
it's-
listening to my presentation. Okay.
No one even
Last
blushed
question
for their
before
dinner.
Final Jeopardy. It's
'Cause I don't wanna
so
get it wrong.
pick who is going to be
It's
answering.
okay.
I'd answer if we didn't get it down.
Tips for 500. The number 1 tip. If you don't remember anything I said in this
I know,
presentation,
I know. Can
remember
I-
this.
Can I do
No.
Do it. Ask.
Oh. Number 1 tip.
Ask your customers if they would like to donate to charity.
Sort of. Do you have a
Don't
better
use
answer?
donate.
I was gonna say the.
Don't use it. Well, if you want to round up
Just
for
sounds
children
good.
cancer. You round up for children cancer.
Okay. I'm not going to give it.
Everyone, don't use
Donate.
donate and don't put a cap on your price.
Okay, she should do this presentation next time. Ask every customer.
Denise,
It's the
dude's
number
very
one.
small.
I feel like she
You don't need a speaker.
You got one.
I took it that way.
Alright, I'll give it to you.
Right, I was about to say. It took the words
I
out
told
of
you
my
I'm
mouth.
vocal. I can't help it.
Okay,
My voice carries.
So here's where we stand. Blue team, who was a blue team, right?
Yeah,
No.
0.
Yeah, unfortunately I'm 0. I'll give you 5. I'm gonna give everyone plus 500.
Alright.
So you have $500 to wager.
Alright.
Red team has $1,500 and pink team has $1,800. Okay, so on the outside of the slip, write your team color.
It's so hard to go home. Hang on, wait. They have how much? Everyone has 15 or 5.
Everybody gets 5 more. So we
Okay,
have
the
18.
category for Final Jeopardy is incentives. Okay, so wager how much you want to risk on the inside of the folded sheet.
But he said everybody
He's
has
giving
500.
everyone.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean?
Like how much do you want to risk? How much do you want to wager for the question? I mean, you can
Did
collaborate.
any of us push a button?
Okay, you guys ready? All right. So give me those.
You're that's the lowest ever.
Are you answering a question?
No.
You just figuring out how much you want to wager?
Yeah.
She was in
It's
it to
fake
win it.
money. Scare money
Okay.
don't make money. Not that it's money.
On this slip, again, write your team color.
Oh,
And at this point, you can collaborate with your team for the final answer, final question. So, Final Jeopardy question is, and it's okay. So it's 2 parts. You have to answer both parts correctly. Okay. What? No, 3 parts. What is the new incentive that we're doing for Roundup this year that we haven't done before? How much do you have to raise per week? And how much is your reward?
Well, Abigail knows this one.
You have to get 2 out of 3 correct. 2 out of 3 correct.
Repeat it again.
What is the new incentive for Roundup? How much do you have to raise per week?
Per week.
Uh-huh. And how much will you get if you win that week? Oh, that's what I meant to do this. Oh my god. Well, the ad's 18 seconds. Yeah, that was the Jeopardy. What is the new incentive? How much do you have to raise per week to qualify? And how much will you get in gift cards if you win that incentive?
Oh, so I did get it right. That's that
You already
one.
told me, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
That's
did
that
you
one.
word it?
And then
But what's the other one?
You have to get 2 out of the 3. Okay, I really have to go cold numbers. So just give me a
Okay,
minute.
yeah, no, that's fine.
why didn't you write the other answer?
Oh,
You're
No, I didn't know
slowy.
what did you
All
want?
right.
Your name's Slowy, not
In
Joey.
3rd place was Blue Team. Blue Team had $500 to wager. They wagered all 500. And Blue Team said $1,000 gift cards.
For the store, right? To be distributed? No?
That goes $1,000 goes to the first place store. So that
Ah.
wasn't exactly what I was looking for.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's a good try. 2nd place was Red Team. They wagered 200, and they said weekly raffle. That is correct.
Yeah.
Raise over $100. That is also correct, and you got a $50 gift card. Also correct.
Winner.
So
Chicken
Red
dinner.
Team is up to $1,700. $1,700. Pink Team
Lost.
wagered $1,800, everything they had,
Oh.
and they said
Can you even read it?
reward is $50
It's
Amex.
the $50 Amex.
But
Yeah.
this says
Brr.
5% a week. That's a 5. It's not a. What does that say?
Oh no, 500 a week.
$590, like as a
Oh,
store.
590. Oh yeah. That's
We had
right.
to do $590 to reach our goal of
Oh,
$3,500.
sorry. The winner goes to Team Red.
Okay.
So the prize for
Hold
Team
your
Red
handicap.
is a lovely box of Krispy Kreme donuts. But it's up to you whether you want to share with your teammates
Nah, you gotta rush
or
your
your
I'm
coworkers.
sharing with all of them. Don't give me one.
I also have consolation prizes for people. Okay, I really have to go.
Bye,
so
dear.
much.
Thank you.
Taking everything out.
I should get it. I should be okay, I think.
Sure.
Yeah.
Please wear it.
Oh, heck yeah, the pots.
You gotta watch it, Abby.
I need to make it to the donut. Hey, I want a donut.
Go ahead.
Thanks, Kim.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You guys knock it out of the park again this year.
Can we get a folder?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you.
What do you, when are we going to work on Wednesday?
No.
We don't.
Alright, so everything on this table is gonna be for you. I'm sorry I don't have time to order.
Okay, that's fine.
This.
Put my stuff on it.
This is for my summer, but if you want to follow me, my phone.
Okay.
And then wristbands
Oh yeah.
are as extra
Sounds like
incentives.
experience.
And then you will. I'm also leaving all this stuff that wasn't drawn as prizes to give away towards that.
You want to get